Hey guys, Vincent again. It's been longer than I anticipated before posting my second video, but it's been a crazy month. But I said I would post another video because I actually got good responses to the first one. So here's my second attempt at a video. So, yeah, I think I left off on my last one and said that I was going to talk about dating sites. Well, I'm actually going to broaden that and discuss something that has led to incredible frustration for me lately, and for the past few months actually, and that's dating itself. So in the past 2 weeks, I've been on a date that was absolutely terrible, uh, been stood up twice, and talked to a couple people who just made me wonder why they are even in this world. I know that may sound horrible, but if you'd had the conversations, trust me, you'd understand. They were just complete jackasses. So why is dating frustrating for me? Well, you guys already know from my first video that I'm not your average cookie cutter gay boy. And that tends to be an obstacle for people to overcome. They look at me and they say, oh my God. Either that or I'm some kind of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an oddity that they can enjoy as a wild little fling, but not something that they would normally pursue. I guess it has its charm for playing with something, different. But it just leads to a lot of frustration, and it's a continuing thread. I don't mean to be like beating the same drum, and talk about what I talked about in the first video, but it's really true. So why am I frustrated? Well, I grew up in Maryland. I partied in DC, did all the clubs, did all that around I was 18, and then I moved to Seattle for 2 years. Let me tell you, the West Coast and the East Coast are two entirely different places, and if I had my preference, I would have stayed on the West Coast. In the time that I've been back, which has been about 9 years almost, I think, yeah, about 9 years, I've had a few relationships. I can count them on one hand. One of them was amazing, and to this day, I wish that we were still together, but that's a whole different story, and he'd probably kill me if I talked about him in this video. But someone that I'm still in love with and probably always will be with, but he realized that he needed to go his separate way, and it's been about 4 years since that now. Still love him, but, you kind of have to acknowledge that things don't always work out the way that you want and let the person go. So, that aside, the dating that I've done, comparing it to what I experienced when I lived on the West Coast, the outlook that people have is completely different. Coming back here from the West Coast, where people stop on the street and sit down and have conversations with you at coffee houses, to this area where everyone is always racing so fast to get to their location or wherever they want to be, and everyone judges you and treats you different. And DC is a very uptight area. Actually, most of the East Coast, I would say. But I'm digressing. The frustration that I have is the fact that I don't look for that many particulars when I'm looking for a prospective boyfriend, or even someone to date. Some people have these like stringent rules they check off that, they go down the list and like, he must be like this, he must be like that. I don't. I have general factors that I look for in a person that, amazingly enough, seem to be extremely hard to find. So, chalk that up and add it to the fact that I work a very odd schedule. I work 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. and I only have Mondays and Tuesdays off. I don't have the opportunity that most people have to go out and meet people. That's why when my friends tell me, don't actively try to find somebody, don't look for somebody, they'll come to you and you'll meet them, my response is when. Mondays and Tuesdays really not the most active nights to meet somebody. Most people work 9 to 5 and I work night shift, so the weekdays are not the best time. So I really don't have a lot of avenues to go out and pursue somebody, or pursue the opportunity of meeting somebody. So I resort to dating sites. To this day, sometimes I log in and ask myself why. I look in and I see the same people over and over again. But the frustrations that I have, it's... when I do find someone that looks interesting, I run the risk of, let's see, I've been told that I'm too old. I'm 30. I've been told I'm too old by someone who was 27. I don't know where they learned math, but they need to count better. Too scary. The mohawk thing going on, and the earrings and the tattoos. We've talked about that before. I've also been told that I'm too honest. Okay, Would you like me to be a liar? Is my response to that one. So it just gets frustrating, like filtering through all of these, personal ads that people fill out to be contacted by somebody. And the first frustration that I have after, the appearance issue that people judge me based on my pictures or my profile and, don't even really read the personality description is people who don't respond. That drives me absolutely insane. You send them a message, they don't respond, and you're like, you just wasted this whole effort sending them a message, introducing yourself and taking that risk, and they don't even acknowledge it by saying thanks, not interested, whatever. Second frustration is meeting them. I got stood up twice in the past 2.5 weeks, and the first time I kind of expected it because they really didn't contact me after we made the plans. They were really excited. They said, yeah, we'll hang out on Monday. We'll hang out on Monday. And then I didn't hear from them after that, after I gave them my number. So no reason. Just didn't call, didn't do anything. So I kind of made other plans. And then the second time that I got stood up was really a surprise because it was actually by a punk boy that I met. Mohawk, tattoos, everything. Gorgeous. Oh my God. But yeah, for no reason whatsoever, no indication. Didn't call me. Didn't email me, message me, anything. We talked for about 5.5 hours the night that we met off of one of the websites and couldn't stop finding things to talk about, and we actually texted back and forth like once or twice over the next couple days. And he said he was really excited about, the upcoming date and all that stuff. And then a day or so before, just to confirm, I was like, hey, are we still on from Monday? No response. Waited till Sunday. Sent him another text and said, hey, haven't heard from you, are we still on for Monday? No response. So sure enough, Monday rolls around. And I'm kind of sitting here, well, I know what's going to happen. And I was exactly right. Stood me up, didn't call me, didn't apologize, didn't do anything. And I still, to this point, have not heard from him. And that was this past Monday. So there's a lot of jerks. There's a lot of jerks that you meet, and you just get to the point where you wonder why you're dealing with it. And it's just so frustrating because, like I said, I don't have a schedule where I can make many new friends. I don't have a schedule where I can go out and meet people regularly. So there's a large loneliness factor included. I'm fine with being alone. For the longest time that I wasn't, but I am now. It's just I'm at the point where I'm ready to share my life with somebody. I had the experience and the opportunity to do so earlier this year. I was with someone from October to February who actually lived with me, which was a new step for me. I've never done that before. But he decided he was still in love with his ex-boyfriend and left me. So, I have no anger towards him. I got to experience what it was like to actually share your life with someone, and I loved it, and I want to be able to do that again, but I'm not having the luck of meeting anybody. And so the loneliness kind of sets in, and you start asking yourself, why am I still trying? Why am I still hoping? Well, hope was the last thing left in Pandora's box, is what I like to say. So I've kind of got that box sitting here and hopes inside, wondering when it's going to come to fruition. But yeah, it's, I come home, I have my roommates who I love to death, but are already asleep because they work opposite schedules from me. I don't really get to go out much because of my schedule. I do karaoke once in a while when I can, so I actually get to pretend to have a social life. But it's at a straight bar, so I'm not really going to run into anybody. It just gets very frustrating, and it's extremely annoying, and I don't know, I kind of hope that I'm going to meet somebody, but there's a lot of jerks out there, and I feel like I'm sifting through a lot of trash. Not the glamorous kind, like me. Ha! But anyway, I think I'm coming up close to 10-minute limit, and I don't want to have this suddenly cut off. I want to be able to get the video uploaded. But yeah, that's my frustration, and I promise to try and post another video soon. So, till then, later.